Hello there, this is Shalin. You are listening to the TESAO Open Mic Podcast, a podcast created by testers for testers. In the previous episode, the first one of this series about mastering bug reporting based on TESAO roles and professional expectations, our team leader Thomas helped us out with the specific ways to construct better bug report titles.
I think a good report is a report which saves everyone the time. Everyone has a feeling not to have lost time. How can you achieve this? Easy. When you start with a report, you first read the title, what we want to start to talk about today. When you read it, it's what you see the first when you don't know the bug. If you read it and have an imagine what the bug is about, I think the title fulfilled its duty. Everyone know about it, everyone have an expectation. If you then go in and read the results, which confirms your image, which you have in your inner eye, and you think, oh yes, that is what exactly I expected after reading the title, then it's a good report in the beginning already. You look at it, you have the results. So, coming back from all of this to the today's topic, the title. What is a good title in general? A good title, in my opinion, should be short, should give a clear overview over the bug, should use keywords. So if you look for something, you have an expected set of keywords. So if you search for it, you will find your bug with it. And it uses precise wordings. Lately, we see often reports which doesn't tell you anything much. It doesn't say what trigger action and only the trigger action should be in, not the steps again, where you read 50 words only the steps before you come to something. It should use very precise wording, not general wording, like does not work, inconsistent, what else we have. There are so many of them. You know what I mean, I think. You maybe have some other examples of it. But everyone know. It doesn't tell you anything. You can put this word with 20 other words and you doesn't get any meaning.
Welcome back, Thomas. How you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for inviting me again.
Thank you for joining us again. And today's episode of the Mastering Bug Reporting series. And keep in mind that the context of this series is the bug form and the way it should be filled out when reporting a defect or a bug on our platform. So today we talk about the steps of the bug report. But why should we discuss something that seems to be very simple, very straightforward to be understood?
For me, next to what the bug report say, I think the steps are one of the most important parts
Definitely.
of the bug report, because if you follow them, you can reproduce the bug, and then in the end, the developer can fix it. If the bug report, the steps are unclear, not good, missing some important things, so in the end it's not reproducible, and I would say we often have maybe the issue when a bug report is not reproducible, this tester missed an important step. So if something is wrong in this area, I think the whole bug report is invalid, because a non-reproducible bug is not worth for anyone.
Exactly.
So I would say what are the steps? What are good steps? Good steps should be straightforward. They should be commands. They should use the neutral form. No one wants to listen to I. Someone who follow it, it's more like a command. I would say think of it like a recipe. You want to cook a meal, you want to bake some kind like cookies. What you see is you get a list of steps you have to follow, and here's the important part, also detailed. They are not too general. When you want to cook something, for example, it say open your oven with 220 degree, or put in 2 eggs, 100 gram, 100 liter of something. It say exactly, and it commands you. So I think the important part is to be neutral, give commands, make them short, easy and followable, and detailed. So if something must happen exactly like this, like input something, like click a special thing for doing it, mention it. and don't write a long story. No one wants to read the story like, and then this will happen. Like, you click on the button and then this window will open.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
but it's not a step. So give commands, make it short, and mention all the details in it.
Agreed, agreed. Yeah, it's like a
Details doesn't mean write a story.
yeah, that's a really great analogy with recipes. You don't want to read the recipe; you actually want to prepare and eat. If you prepare quickly and with efficiency, that's all what we need from a report.
And if you follow them, even if you don't know the product, you never do this
Mm,
cookie, this
true.
soup before. If you follow them, I think the result will for all the same and you will get exactly what it should be. And I think the steps for a bug report should be the same. You follow them exactly, you can follow them fast without reading it 5 times, and when you do, you exactly come to the bug. And not only you, that's why you don't use the I form, also in the title,
Mm.
all. If I redo, if you redo, if tester X, Y, Z redo, or the customer, all will come with the same steps, with the same setup, to the same result.
Well, should I say good steps are recipe for success? I think.
You can phrase it like this, sure. It's like
Okay.
a recipe, like,
Yeah.
so it's maybe easier to understand for someone who doesn't come from the IT or something, but
Mm.
I think every one of us cooked at least or baked someone somehow and read something like this. Read instruction. It's an instruction, more like a manual. And so that's what the steps are. And I think the most important part, because if you do it correctly, everyone can reproduce it and you avoid rejections by it.
Agreed. Excellent. So let's crack on with the example section of this episode. And for this episode, we got this first report. The title says, after filling out the questionnaire in the recommendations dietary supplement does not match the select answers. And there are 5 steps. The first one, go to the website. There is the URL there, so that's a good step. Then it says click take the quiz. Click step 3, click start quiz. Step 4, take the survey. Step 5, registration. How do you like these steps? The steps on this report, Thomas?
The first one is good. It have a short command, what you do, go to, and then the URL. I think it should match the test instruction URL. So first one is great, done correctly. What I like is it's short and give you commands. So if you follow them, you should come to the bug. But here's the problem right now. Click takes a quiz.
Yes.
Could be good, could be bad, I must say. I need to see the website because it doesn't say where is it. Takes a quiz, can be anywhere. You as a tester, when you sit in front and doing it, you know it. But is it in a menu? Is it in a sidebar? Is it on top? On the button? Somewhere in the middle? Is it in some paragraph? Be a little bit more precise, like I say, give more details. Take the quiz button or link and then say where you can find it, for example, so you can navigate faster to it without looking 2 minutes only on this one page to find it. If it's not obvious, I must say, yeah, if it's not obvious. If it's obvious, hit you in the face. Understand? When you open the website and it's a button, take 2/3 of the website already when you just open it, then maybe not. But in general, I only give advice. Is it's better if it's something hidden more in the website, mention where it is for as a helper.
Agreed. And in this case, for the audience, the take the quiz, that sentence is everywhere. So, and there are many buttons called that way. So, it is quite necessary to say which button or where exactly this take the quiz is. What about the step 3?
Step 3, I think click start quiz. Seems like a button again. I think it's similar like the second. Short, it leads you and say exactly what to do. If it's like the same like in number 2, if it's very obvious where, then not needed. If it's not so obvious, do the same, say where you find it.
True.
Number 4, I think, is the most problematic one where it starts. If I read the title after filling out the questionnaire in the recommendations, directory supplement does not match the selected answers, take the survey. This bug, from the title at least, depending strongly on what you select.
Exactly.
So saying take the quiz is a guessing, and you can hope you come to the bug or not, because I'm not sure how many answers, how many questions this survey have, but I'm guessing most people will give different answers and get then different results if it's depending on the questions.
Yes, that's how it should work.
Here we are with the part like saying in the recipe, you're missing which eggs to select and put in, you've missed to say which sugar, the amount of it, at which position, and the follow-up before you mix. Something is very important. So I think step number 4 should be maybe 5 to 20, depending on the survey. It
Yes.
should be split it up, and each selection or each question in the survey should be one step to break it up.
Great.
So you come to the same result.
Yes.
And number 5, registration. It's
Yeah.
bad. Before at least the tester use commands, say what to do.
Yeah, it was
What does it
good.
say? Registration. If it's a command, should I fill out a registration? If it's a result, then it should not be even here. Will I come to the registration form for some reason? It's a word without any meaning for me. So step number 5 is not really a step because it doesn't give you anything. And we come back, maybe should have said before, only do action commands in it. Results you don't want to see into the steps. For results, you have the result area later. So you don't say, oh, I see now this, or note this, blah, 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 like note the number of the price, or note the number of the results, and so on, and then do the next steps. No one wants to know. You doesn't want to do any results in this. You only want to do the steps to reproduce it. The results can explain later the details.
Yes.
But for this part, we come in another part of the series. So if it's a result, let it away. The same for always. You see often the last thing is always observe.
Observe. Yeah.
Yeah, what should I observe? It doesn't make any sense. When the bug is there, when it brings me already to the bug, then I will see the bug. I don't need to observe it. It's what we are doing.
Yes. Oh, we will see that. We will see that step in the next example.
Okay. Okay, then we can speak there about it maybe a little bit more.
Yeah.
So the beginning of it was okay. 2 and 3 could be more detailed if it need. Number 4 and number 5 are not okay. Number 4 need much more details, should be split it off in many others. And step number 5, I cannot tell right now if it should be let away or need an action command and say more about it. There are too many contexts missing in this report for me.
Yeah, agreed. Oh, okay. Thank you, Thomas. So let's go with the second one. And the title of this world report is User Cannot Share the Wishlist via Email when wishlist has only one product. And there are 3 steps. They go to the website URL there. The second step, select and add products to wishlist. And the third, your favorite, observe.
Like in the other report, I must say step 1 is okay. I guess the URL here is correct, at least correctly formatted, so I guess
Yeah.
it should be the one that you have to use. Step number 2, select and add products to wishlist. You can say it's very general. It's acceptable in some cases, I must say. Acceptable when it's not depending on the products itself, only the amount. Then you can say select and add products to the wishlist. If some bug is triggered by, for example, a special product in this case, it's too general. Then you should mention always the product, exactly which one to add and how to come to this product. So step number 2 can be okay when it's not depending on the detailed one, more on the amount. But it should also say then not add products, should say the amount, how many.
Yes, the number of
At
products,
least.
indeed.
Yeah. So it's way too less detailed, and depending on the bug, should be more or less can be split up in many different steps. Like if it's a special product, then have to say how to find the special product to edit. Yeah, but in general, I think the step is generally wrong for this bug report. Only from the title, user cannot share the wish list via email when wish list has only one product. So it's say the product, the trigger for this bug should be one product from the
Yes.
title. And step number 2 say select and add products. So
Yes.
everyone who will follow it will add more than one product to the wish list. So the bug will be never triggered. Second of all, when we go further, step number 3 say observe. What should I observe? We are here at this point. It's such a useless step. It's not even an action, not a step.
Yes, it is
So
not.
can be let away. It doesn't help anyone except it makes the report longer for nothing, and the one who write it have to write or copy one more word.
Yes.
But it doesn't make the report more interesting or helps, and longer steps is not always something you want even. I think less steps is even what you want normally, because you want to go through it fast and come to the bug. Second of all, it misses many, for my feeling.
It does.
The bug title speak, you cannot share it, it should be in the wish list. The bug report and the steps never say how to go there and try to share it. We doesn't do in this report. It doesn't say go to the wish list, and doesn't say how to go to the wish list where it is
Yes.
to find. Second of all, it doesn't say that I have to look or click a button for the sharing.
For sharing,
And
yes.
email. It doesn't say enter an email. There's nothing mentioned anything how to do. It's missing many steps after adding the product. So I could never reproduce a bug with this report if I don't know any more information
Agreed.
and guessing. And the one who will reproduce should never guess it. The one who reproduce it should do it by the steps and only by the steps. So we should also mention and lead or point to the screencast. You can find the details in the screencast. Is not correct. The screencast, and we come in a later one about the two, is only for proving the bug, never to help the bug report. The bug report must stand on its own. The
Yes.
reproduction should be by the steps only and only by the steps, not looking into the screencast and writing down data. If data is necessary to redo a bug, put it into your steps report, so the one who reproduce it can copy them and not start to write them out of a screencast.
Agreed. Yes, definitely. And for the audience, we can make some sense on why the title says only one product and the step 2 says add products in plural, because the user has to add many products, at least 3, and then remove them. And this step is also missed. Thank you for sharing your thoughts and experience on how to sharply construct the steps of a bug report with our listeners, Thomas. I can't wait to see the steps of reports after this episode gets public.
I hope so too. I hope we doesn't see so many of this observe or steps in it anymore. And thanks for inviting me again. I am really looking forward to go on with the next part of the series.
Thank you all for listening to the Tesla Open Mic podcast. If you want to know more about us, what we do, how we do it, and build a QA testing career in the IT industry from scratch, hit the subscribe button. And if you want to listen to our private podcast, please join our Discord community directly from your Tesla account. Take care, stay safe, and stay tuned for the next episode about the actual and expected results of the bug report. Cheers.